Welcome to the InnoGuide podcast. I'm your host, Bob Boudelier. This podcast, my website, and my weekly newsletter are all focused on bringing you the secrets of innovation. Since I don't rely on paid ads, I want to thank our customers who subscribe to our AI Fusion Kickstarter program and to those who leverage AI Fusion coaching to bring human-centered AI into their organizations. You can find us at www.innoguide.net. In this episode number 61, we're sharing Buy Back Your Time. Get unstuck, reclaim your freedom, and build your empire by Dan Martell. Without further ado, please enjoy episode 61. Buy Back Your Time. Welcome to the InnoGuide podcast, where we share the works of authors and mentors to guide innovation. Let's get started. Introduction: How Business Saved My Life, then Almost Ruined It. I open on the worst day of my life, sweating, shaking, staring at a jammed gun in my duffel bag as two cops sprint toward my crashed car. I just led them on a chase, smashed into a house, and figured suicide by cop was my best exit. But the gun stuck, didn't work. Instead of dying that day, I got arrested, and that glitch became the first domino in a chain that saved my life. Jail was bleak. I tried to keep my head down. I still ended up in solitary after a fight. That's where Brian, a corrections officer, changed my trajectory with one question. Dan, why are you here? Not what did you do, but why are you here? He told me I didn't belong there, that I was meant for something else. No one had ever said that to me before. I cried, and it planted hope. From there, I was sent to Portage, a therapeutic program for teens. I worked, I learned, I met Rick, a maintenance guy who became a big brother. Cleaning out an old cabin, I found a Java programming manual and an ancient computer. I assumed code would look like alien math. Instead, it read like English. I typed the first lesson, hit run, and saw Hello World on the screen. It clicked. Software is instructions that yield predictable results, something my chaotic childhood never did. Writing code became my new addiction and eventually my blueprint for building systems. Entrepreneurship felt native to me. The same traits that got me in trouble, risk tolerance, creative hustle, common chaos, turned out to be entrepreneurial assets once pointed in the right direction. I launched my first legit company at 18, Maritime Vacation, then a hosting company, NB Host, at 21. Both failed because I only knew one gear, GSD, get shit done. Work harder, longer, do more myself. I thought effort alone would win. In 2004, I started Spheric Technologies. The grind worked. We grew 150% year over year, but it nearly cost me my life outside of work. I was putting in 15 to 18-hour days. 4 months before our wedding, my fiancée dropped the ring on the counter and walked away. That was my pattern. 2 failed businesses, a failed relationship, and one common denominator, me. My GSD, getting shit done mindset, had become a prison. The seed of the solution had been germinating. I'd started devouring business and self-help books. Tim Sanders' Love is the Killer app lit the fuse. $20 for 20 years of someone else's lessons? Sold. I inhaled the classics. Dale Carnegie, Hill, Covey, and then everything I could find. I tested ideas, built systems, created playbooks. I stopped trying to outgrind problems and learned to outsystem them. Slowly, life looked different. I sold Spheric in 2008, made my first million, moved to San Francisco, and launched Flowtown. But the more the company grew, the more time I had. I had found the lever, buy back my time, and redeploy it where it matters. I codified a simple rule that guides my life. Learn, do, teach. I started blogging in 2006, speaking in 2008, founded Clarity in 2012 to connect founders with experts for the answers they needed, and then launched SaaS Academy in 2015 to share not just tactics, but operating systems for living, energy over time, playbooks over heroics, and ultimately, how to buy back your time. The feedback told me I'd hit a universal nerve. Entrepreneurs don't just want a bigger business. They want a life they don't grow to hate. This book is the playbook I wish I'd had then. You will learn following things. The buyback principle. the buyback loop, and the drip matrix, mental models to see where your time is getting assassinated and why. How to calculate your buyback rate in Chapter 1 so you can afford to offload tasks immediately. The replacement ladder, Chapter 5, to continuously trade low-value tasks for higher leverage ones. The camcorder method, Chapter 7, my favorite for training others without adding time by recording how you do your work and turning it into repeatable playbooks. The definition of done and the 1-3-1 rule, Chapter 9, to eliminate bottlenecks. How to architect your perfect week, Chapter 8, around energy, not hours. The 10x vision map, Chapter 13, and the preloaded year, Chapter 14, to translate ambition into a calendar that protects what matters. Along the way, I'll call out your time assassins, the sneaky beliefs and behaviors that keep you trapped in do more yourself mode. We'll keep coming back to a simple truth. A profitable business can come from hard work, but a thriving life and a scaling company require you to buy back your time and reinvest it in your unique abilities. When you do, energy rises, profits follow, and the flywheel spins faster, giving you the means to buy back even more time. Today I run an 8-figure business in about 6 hours a week. I train for Ironman, mentor inner-city youth, invest, write, and most importantly, eat lunch with my wife and dinner with my kids every night. Not because I grind harder, but because I built a company that serves my life, not the other way around. And I didn't do it alone. Mentors, authors, and a community pulled me up. This book is my way of paying that forward. If you're dreading your inbox at work and dreading the exhaustion at home, this is your exit ramp. You were born to build, but not to burn out. Let's buy back your time and build a business you don't grow to hate. Chapter 1. How I Buy Back My Life. Let's start with a hard truth most founders learn the painful way. Goals won't save you, systems will. Stewart's story is the cautionary tale and the blueprint. Stewart was 34 years old, second-time founder, with the resume we all recognize. Finance degree, Wall Street chops, 10 employees, a dozen apps, 640,000 daily users. He was also doing it all. Bookkeeping because he once took accounting, code reviews because he could, project management, support, fulfillment, even his own travel. 14-hour days, 7 days a week, the grind worked until it broke him. The collapse came at Disneyland. 10 minutes into Main Street, his chest tightened, breath shortened, panic hit like a truck. Tests said his heart was fine, anxiety wasn't. Within months, March 2020, he was largely bedridden. Even Zoom felt impossible. He tried meditation, books, exercise, nothing moved the needle. When Stewart found my material, he binged it for 2 weeks and finally saw the insanity. He was spending $100 an hour founder time on $10 an hour tasks. The gap isn't just inefficient, it's lethal to your business and your life. He started doing what I teach every entrepreneur to do. Apply the buyback principle, step into the buyback loop. The buyback principle in one line: don't hire to grow your business, hire to buy back your time. Here's why that matters. You're only world-class at 2 or 3 things that you both love and that drive the most value, usually revenue. Everything else drains your energy and drags your company. The point isn't hire more people, it's hire with a purpose, to repurchase your time, then redeposit it in your highest value zone so your energy and income both rise. This creates a flywheel. The buyback loop is the operating system for that flywheel. Audit. Identify low-value, energy-sucking tasks that you hate that are easy and inexpensive to hand off. Transfer. Give them to someone who's better suited for them and actually enjoys them, and even part-time or via simple SOPs. Fill. Reinvest your freed-up time into the few activities you love that move revenue and strategy. Then you repeat. Audit, transfer, fill. Audit, transfer, fill. This becomes a constant upward spiral. That's how Tom Clancy evolved from writer to brand with a stable of co-authors while he focused on the front-end story vision and bigger opportunities. That's how Warren Buffett spends his time almost exclusively reading and hunting investments while 400,000 plus people operate the machine. That's how Andy Warhol's factory let him ideate, delegate the middle, then add his signature touch at the end, producing thousands of works. Back to Stewart. He audited his time and finally saw it on paper. Oh, I shouldn't be doing this. He prioritized offloads using the replacement ladder that we cover in Chapter 5, and then recorded himself doing each targeted task, screen plus voice, for a month. 2 hires later, armed with those videos, the camcorder method from Chapter 7, he transferred the work cleanly without becoming the bottleneck. He also shifted his objective from manage productivity to manage energy, maximizing his production quadrant from Chapter 2. The results? He freed 30-plus hours per week, dropping from 11-hour days to 6. He became a better dad, husband, and even got back to jiu-jitsu, earning his blue belt. His company revenue tripled, and his personal income doubled within a year. The panic attacks disappeared. His only regret? Not doing it sooner. Why most founders don't do this sooner? The toxic GSD creed, getting shit done. We think more input equals more output, so we stay busy. Emails, interruptions, errands, quick fixes, often efficiently doing the wrong work. That treadmill leads to the pain line, point where more growth feels like more pain. Hit it, and founders almost always do one of three things. Sell, tap out under duress. I've watched couples build $6 million businesses and then sell because the grind killed their health, friendships, and marriage. If you sell, do it on your terms, but not because pain forced your hand. Sabotage. Add a new product. Rebuild the website. Churn key players. Delay decisions. Anything to throttle growth back down to a level you can personally control. It feels strategic. It's emotional. Stall. I'd rather be smaller. The quiet killer. Markets evolve. Stars leave when they can't grow. And not growing becomes dying slowly. Here's the reframe. More growth doesn't have to lead to more pain. Done right, more growth equals more freedom because business expands while you keep buying back time and reinvesting it where you become uniquely valuable. 2 quick examples of simple surgical buybacks. Keith, the real estate pro, was on calls 20 hours a week, including evenings. He hired a commission-only salesperson to field them. Now he handles the top 10 to 15% of calls, grows faster, earns more, and his wife is happier. Martin, a consultant, was running 10 live Fix Your Facebook ads calls weekly, answering the same questions. He partnered with a complimentary provider who took those calls for free as part of their acquisition funnel. Martin got several hours back for higher leverage work. Systems are greater than goals. You likely already know that extra hours on your true strengths would unlock growth. You also may be telling yourself, I don't have the time. I can't afford help. No one's as good. No one wants to do this. I can't find talent. That's exactly why you need the system, so you aren't relying on willpower or heroics. As James Clear puts it, you don't rise to your goals. You fail to your systems. The buyback loop is your system. Start now by asking these 3 questions. Audit. What tasks do I hate doing that are easy and inexpensive to give away? 2. Transfer. Who on my team or part-time hire can take these now? 3. Fill. What do I love doing that will immediately drive more revenue if I do more of it? Here are the 5 back rules to tattoo on your calendar. 1. Don't hire to grow your business. Hire to buy back your time. 2. You can't outwork your way to a great business. At 24 hours, something breaks, usually you or a relationship. 3. Keep grinding long enough and you'll hit the pain line. Then you'll stall, sabotage, or sell. 4. Treat the pain line as a feedback loop. Adopt new beliefs, systems, and tactics, or wait for something to snap. 5. Run the buyback loop forever. Audit your time. Transfer low-value work to people who thrive on it. Fill your time with higher-value, energizing work. Then repeat. Step into the arena. Picture your life when the menial, draining tasks are off your plate. Don't argue with possible. Just answer this. What would I fill my time with if I wasn't spending all of it at work? Write it down. 10 extra hours with your kids, a weekly yoga class, date lunches. If you're visual, make a simple vision board so you see that future 100 times a day, like the fitness photo on my desktop that nudges me to train. The image keeps your present choices aligned with your future. Here's the promise of this chapter. Time is the real currency of entrepreneurship. Spend it on tasks you love and are great at, and your energy and income will compound. Use money to buy back time, and the flywheel accelerates. Do the opposite, hoard low-value work, and you'll build a business of pain you'll eventually try to escape. Let's build systems now so growth gives you freedom, not fatigue. Audit, transfer, fill, then do it again. Chapter 2, The Drip Matrix. Oprah didn't become Oprah by grinding harder at the wrong job. She found the work that lit her up and built a life around it. When a TV station didn't know what to do with her and pushed her onto a low-rated talk show, she discovered her genius zone in real time. Deep human conversations. This is what I'm supposed to do, she said after interviewing an ice cream mogul and a soap actor, not presidents or prime ministers. From there, she stopped exploiting stories and started elevating people. The energy surged, the audience followed, and money multiplied. This is the pattern this chapter installs in your operating system. Gay Hendricks called it the genius zone, the few activities you're uniquely great at that give you energy and that the market pays handsomely for. The more time you deposit there, the faster your business and your joy compound. Most entrepreneurs do the opposite. They spend their best hours on low-value tasks that drain them and stall growth. Take Miguel, a founder in my coaching group, brilliant product mind, stuck inside customer support tickets because he wanted to get back to people fast. He hired a support lead who genuinely loves customers and is more empathetic than he is. Ratings skyrocketed, and Miguel redirected his time to 10,000 an hour thinking, product growth, and new opportunities. Or my brother Pierre, born salesman, at 8 he set up a cooler next to Dad's food truck and made $300 a day selling cold soda to people who didn't want to wait in line. But when he launched a custom home business, he became a jack of all trades, permits, tools, payroll, everything. In 6 months, he'd lost 20 pounds, moved his furniture into a model home, and was sleeping on a leaky air mattress with his dog. The problem wasn't demand, it was misallocated time. When he stepped back into sales and into the buyer's mindset, he discovered the real decision-maker's criteria: curb appeal, landscaping, light, kitchens, bathrooms. He hired an architect, redesigned, and sold 16 homes the next year. Martell Custom Homes grew into the largest custom builder in Atlantic Canada. Same person, different quadrant. Here's the model I use to stop the chaos and reallocate time with precision: the drip matrix. Every task you touch sits on 2 axes, money and energy. Map your work into these 4 quadrants, then manage your calendar accordingly. Delegation. Low money, drains energy. Examples: inbox triage, invoicing, travel bookings, research, data migration. Mandate transfer fast. If you'd never pay a $100,000 marketer to wash windows for 6 hours, stop paying yourself to do the equivalent. We once faced a gnarly data move. My team was stressed about losing weeks of focus, and I found a specialist who did it for under $1,000, faster and better. Replacement makes money, drains energy. The second quadrant, replacement, makes money, drains energy. First one was delegation, low money, drains energy. The second quadrant, replacement, makes money, drains energy. Examples: sales you've outgrown, onboarding, fulfillment, team management, marketing mechanics. Mandate, more deliberate offloads. This is the pitfall quadrant. You can get stuck here because it pays. Use systems like replacement ladder in Chapter 5 and the camcorder method in Chapter 7 so quality scales without you. Larry, who owned 3 natural grocers, lived here. All I do is hire, fire, and order. His belief that no one does it right kept him trapped doing everything a CEO at Whole Foods scale would never do alone. Third quadrant, investment. Low money now, gives energy. Examples: fitness, hobbies, family time, spiritual advice, peer lunches, podcasts, books, conferences, TEDx talks. Mandate, keep a steady drip. These nourish creativity, relationships, and long-term deal flow. I stack these. Hike plus founder chat plus like prospecting is one block that feeds health, community, and business. The last one, last quadrant, production. High money gives energy. Your freedom zone. This is where you spend most of your time. The highest value work only you should do that also lights you up. Example: Chris, a trainer, was losing 2 days a week to social media. He hired someone to run it and doubled down on client transformation. This work that energized him and paid best. When demand outgrew his calendar, he went online with programs. In 5 years, he scaled to $1.5 million annual recurring revenue by repeatedly redepositing time into production. Here's the trap founders fall into. As they grow, they accidentally hire away the parts they love. I need a videographer, a marketing guru, a podcast producer, and end up stuck doing the cheapest, most draining work. They become the admin of their own company. Hiring is essential, but only with the right intent. Don't hire for a role. Hire to buy back your time so you can live in your production quadrant. About that voice in your head. No one does it as well as I do. That may be true. So change the target. Aim for 80% done by someone else. Because 80% done by somebody else is 100% awesome. It also gets you your weekend back, your kids' game back, and your best work back. The other voice, I can't afford it. You can. Let's start with your buyback rate. Your effective hourly rate is what your business pays you per year divided by 2,000 hours. Your buyback rate is your effective hourly rate divided by 4. That gives you a 4x ROI target on delegation. So, for example, Tina earns $200,000 a year. Her effective hourly rate is 100. Her buyback rate is then 25. Any task she can offload at $25 an hour or less that she doesn't enjoy should be delegated. Shortcut, take the annual comp divided by 8,000. So it's 2,000 and then divided by 4. So annual comp divided by 8,000 is your buyback rate. Even at $50,000 a year, your buyback rate is about $6.25 an hour. At that level, use creative options. Commission-only roles like Keith in Chapter 1, interns, offshore assistants are about $6.25 to $10, or partnerships like Martin's support calls being handled by a complimentary provider for free. This chapter's punchline is this: successful people aren't doing what they love because they got rich. They got rich because they learned to do what they love and only what they love. Oprah's Billionaire's Day proves it. She spends roughly 2 hours on business approvals and key check-ins, with the rest on health, learning, relationships, and curiosity. That ruthless focus on production and investment is her moat. Your move, starting today. 4 items. 1. Audit. Put every recurring task onto drip. Be honest about energy and money. 2. Transfer. Clear delegation items immediately at or below your buyback rate. Build SOPs with the camcorder method so quality scales. 3. Replace. Sequence the expensive offloads, sales, delivery, management, using the replacement ladder so you don't get stuck. 4. Fill. Backfill your calendar with production work only you can do and a steady dose of investment to fuel the engine. The 5 buyback rules from this chapter: you perform best and get paid most doing what you enjoy. Every task lives on 2 axes, money and energy. Manage both. Don't hire away your joy by accident. Hire to buy back your time or you'll become the admin. 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome. And the drip matrix. Spend most of your time in production with intentional deposits into investment and actively clear delegation and then replacement. Step into the arena. Calculate your buyback rate. From now on, any task you don't enjoy that can be done at or below your buyback rate is delegated. Drip your week. Label next week's calendar blocks by quadrant. If production isn't the majority, you know what to transfer first. Build the system now so your future looks like Oprah's. More money because you spend more time doing what gives you energy. That's the infinite game worth playing. Chapter 3. The 5 Time Assassins. If you've ever wondered why some founders float through powder days while others are glued to their phones on the chairlift, here's the truth. It's not the size of the company, it's the systems and the founder's relationship with chaos. I saw it in stark contrast on a ski trip with Richard Branson. My friend Lionel, who ran a $2 million forestry company with 16 employers, once spent an entire trip firefighting from his phone. He was checked out, stressed out, and miserable. But Branson, who oversees roughly 400 companies and 70,000 employees, showed up light, present, and joyful. Work didn't follow him onto the mountain, other than his assistant. That's the model. Be Branson, not Lionel. Here's why that contrast matters. Many entrepreneurs had chaotic childhoods, and research backs this up. It forged adaptability, grit, and an unusual comfort with uncertainty. That's an advantage in startups, which, as Steve Blank says, are inherently chaotic. But the gift has a shadow. We can get addicted to chaos. When there's no fire, we subconsciously light one. We throw hand grenades into our own business, needless redesigns, abrupt firings, random strategy pivots, just to feel normal again. I've learned to spot that pattern in myself. A partner once stopped me from saving a slow-moving deal team by barging in. He asked, "Do you think everyone on this team is terrible?" Of course not. My impulse was chaos addiction masquerading as leadership. That same itch hit a client, Taylor, who wanted to disappear on a 6-week unplanned vacation just as his company finally ran smoothly. 2 words from me, "Why now?" kept him from manufacturing a crisis. That chaos impulse tends to wear 5 disguises. I call them the 5 assassins of time because they kill your production and your calendar if you let them. First, the staller. Pattern. You hesitate on high-leverage opportunities, webinars, partnerships, stages without saying yes or no. You forget to reply. Example, Sahid, my coaching client, could have tripled his reach with a simple cross promo. He took 20 days to answer a one-line email. I couldn't in good conscience introduce him to my audience. Underneath the delay, scripts like, you'll fail, you'll let Dan down, you're not worthy, or this will cause so much growth it'll break me. The cost was the opportunity decay, reputation hits, and a compounding trust loss. 2. The speed demon. Pattern: snap decisions that feel decisive, but repeat mistakes, hiring the first warm body, grabbing the first tool, picking the first lender. Example: Charles replaced an underperforming CMO, his brother-in-law, by immediately hiring his buddy Darwin. No process, no market research. Darwin quit 2 months later, just like his last job. As John Dewey said, we don't learn from experience, we learn from reflecting on the experience. The cost is rework loops, cultural drag, and the illusion of momentum. 3. The supervisor. Pattern: you hire and then do the job for them. Micromanagement, and I'm the only one who can do it right. Example: Daryl, the bike shop owner, jumps the bench to fix customers' bikes himself. His techs never learn the diagnosis of the fix. Orders get botched, and the business becomes 100% Daryl dependent. He's always working in the business, never on it. Cost is a stagnant team, single point of failure, and you chained to the shop. 4. The saver. Pattern: hoarding cash while starving growth, confusing frugality with fiscal wisdom. Example: Kyle runs a $40,000 per member mastermind with 50 members. Monthly events were burning him out because he rebuilt the content from scratch every time. I recommended a world-class curriculum designer for under 10 grand. He asked if there was a $20 book instead. He was willing to risk a multi-million-dollar flywheel to save pennies on the dollar. Cost: exhaustion, inconsistency, and opportunity loss far larger than the savings. And the last one is the self-medicator. They celebrate with the same vice used to numb pain: food, booze, gaming, whatever, regardless of the outcome. Example 1. Me in 2005. Crushed a Yale install, celebrated with sushi and sake, called in food poisoning the next morning. Hero to zero in 24 hours. Example 2. Tom, a client, binged Thursday through Sunday, limped through Mondays, and watched his daughter mirror his chugging. He faced it in our boardroom, completed 75 hard, dropped 50 pounds, scaled toward 900 employees and 15 million, and now says, feeling free is an understatement. Cost here is compromised performance, broken trust, and stolen tomorrows. All 5 assassins do the same thing. They feed your chaos addiction and starve your production. The staller freezes momentum. The speed demon ensures deja vu disasters. The supervisor locks you into mediocre work. The saver wins small and loses big. The self-medicator mortgages the next day for tonight. So what do? First see the pattern, then kill the assassin before it kills your calendar. Staller antidote. Install decision deadlines and default to yes if criteria XYZ, or a clean no. Momentum beats perfection. Speed demon antidote. Add a pause and pattern step. Ask, what's the root cause? What would fix this for good? Design the process, then decide. Supervisor antidote. Aim for 80% by others. Use the camcorder method to turn your doing into training and let people learn. The saver antidote. Use your buyback rate. If it's below your rate and drains you, spend the money, invest to remove recurring pain. And self-medicator antidote. Replace the reward. Stack health and community, such as 75 hard hikes with founders, sober celebrations. Build identity-based habits. Stepping into the arena. List your last 10 big decisions. Which were true business needs and which were hand grenades? Circle the pattern: stalling, speeding, supervising, saving, or self-medicating. Name your current assassin. Write it down. Keep it visible. Commit a counter behavior you'll run next time the urge appears. The 5 buyback rules from this chapter. Most entrepreneurs are predisposed to chaos and often addicted to it. That advantage under fire becomes a liability at scale if unchecked. Chaos shows up as the 5 time assassins: staller, speed demon, supervisor, saver, self-medicator. Without addressing the root, chaos addiction, you'll bounce between assassins and stall growth. Becoming who you want starts with getting brutally honest about your demon, then replacing it with systems that feed production. Branson didn't earn his peace by shrinking his world. He built systems and a team so he could live in production and be present on the mountain. That's the game. Spot the assassin, disarm it, then buy back your time and redeposit it where your energy and income compound. Chapter 4. The only 3 trades that matter. We romanticize freedom as something you earn one day after enough grind. Branson and Oprah prove the opposite. You get freedom the moment you start depositing time into your production quadrant. That time produces more energy and more money, which you use to buy back even more time. The compounding starts now, not someday. Simon, my friend from the last chapter, showed this to a manufacturing owner we'll call Andre. Andre was ready to hire an operations manager because he was sick of the day-to-day. Simon asked a better question. What's the biggest chunk of your week you hate? Turned out 80% of Andre's time was buried in CAD drafting. Classic delegation quadrant trap. Simon's prescription? Don't hire an ops manager. Hire a CAD designer. Cheaper, better, and instantly buys back 80% of Andre's week. A great CAD hire would likely outperform Andre too because they enjoyed that work. Andre thought he was a business owner. He was still an employee of his own company. That's the heart of this chapter. There are only 3 trades you can make with your time and money. Most founders get stuck at the first one. Level 1 trader. Employee. Trade time for money. Reality check. Owning the business doesn't change this if your calendar is full of execution. You're selling your hours, coding, writing, onboarding, invoicing, CAD. It's the GSD mentality, and it caps your growth because there's only so much you. Level 2 trader, entrepreneur. Trade money for time. The shift is you stop believing more hours equals more money and start asking, how do I buy back time with every hire, tool, or transaction? Here's the practice. Use your buyback rate. If your highest value work is $500 an hour, you should never be stuck in $10 an hour tasks. Delegation and replacement become your default. I tell every client $10 million companies weren't built on $10 tasks. Level 3 trader, empire builder. Trade money for more money. Your time isn't on the market anymore. Other capable operators run the day-to-day. You live the production and investment. That's why Oprah works out more than she works. Buffett reads more than he meets, and both keep compounding. You can't skip levels. You earn level 3 by mastering level 2. How to climb levels fast. Quick wins from the delegation quadrant. Start where leverage is highest and the cost is lowest, like Simon did with Andre. Identify the low-value, energy-draining tasks stealing your week and clear them first. To do that, you need the truth serum of entrepreneurship, your calendar, because your calendar doesn't lie. Miranda, a star on my team, was drowning after a promotion to team lead. Reviews, call management, one-on-one, reporting, she felt like she was letting everyone down. I asked her to run a time and energy audit. Track every 15 minutes for 2 weeks. Then we'd triage. 4 days in, she texted me. She could already see the low-value, red time culprits and started offloading them. That's common. When you see the pattern, you fix the pattern. Why we add the energy time audit. Time fluctuates with your energy. A financial report might take 30 minutes in your morning peak and 2 hours at 3 p.m. A proper audit exposes both. When you're strongest, so production goes there. What drains you, so delegation replacement starts there. Dana, a CEO who makes about $2,500 an hour, resisted delegating email forever. The logic didn't move him. The energy did. Once he asked, does email stress me more than anything else? He hired an assistant and deleted email apps from his phone. He literally can't check email now, and his energy is back where it belongs. The 4 steps of a time and energy audit. First, calculate your buyback rate. Annual comp is 2,000 hours divided by 4. And that's your target max hourly spend to reclaim time at a 4x ROI. Second, track every 15 minutes for 2 weeks. Example entries, 8 to 8:30, email clients, 8:30 to 9:30, podcast interview, 9:30 to 11, board meeting, etc. Assign a value to each task with $signs, $4 for high value, 3 for next value, 2 for next, 1 for low value. And then calibrate your world. Your $1 signs would be $10 an hour work. Your $2 signs might be $20 an hour work. And mark energy with color. Green gives energy, red drains energy, maybe yellow is in between. Make a spreadsheet up in Excel for all the days of the week in 15-minute chunks, and then you'll have a very visual example of what's going on in your life. Now you've effectively plotted your week onto the drip matrix without drawing a chart. The red items need to be offloaded to somebody else. The yellow items, you'll have to make an assessment on this, and the green items are the ones that you want to keep. Many smart trades you can make from the audit. Remove unnecessary duplicate steps. Many musts vanish once you see them on paper. Use your current team. If it can be done by somebody already on staff, delegate it now. Get creative. If no one on the team can take it, use your buyback rate to hire a virtual assistant, freelancer, specialist, or pay overtime. Remember the free and low-cost hacks from earlier chapters: partnerships, commissions, interns, swaps. This is how you rack up fast wins. Clear delegation first, then we'll handle replacement in the next chapter. Let's reframe about paying for what you hate. If your buyback rate is $100 an hour and you're spending 20 hours a week onboarding for the 1,000th time, you can pay somebody who enjoys onboarding less than $100 an hour to do it. Not making that trade is selfish. You deny someone a role they love and deny your business the upside of your highest work value. Trade up and then use the extra revenue to buy back even more time. 5 buyback rules. Level 1, time for money, employee. Level 2, money for time, entrepreneur. Level 3, money for more money, empire builder. $100 million companies weren't built on $10 tasks. These are the only trades, and most owners are stuck at level 1. Freedom starts when you deliberately spend money to repurchase your time. Step into the arena. Do a time and energy audit, 2 weeks, 15-minute blocks. Then put dollar signs on every task: green for energizing, red for draining, yellow for admin, things that are in the middle. Attack the low dollar red items first at below your buyback rate. Redeploy the reclaimed time into production work only you can do. You don't need one day to feel like Oprah. You need today's calendar, a green high dollar block, and the courage to trade up. Chapter 5, the replacement ladder. If your business only works when you do, you don't own a business. You own a really demanding job. The way out isn't hustle harder. It's replacing yourself systematically so you can live in your production quadrant. Andy Warhol is the blueprint. People remember the Marylands and Campbell's cans, but his real masterpiece was the machine he built to produce 85,000 works and 500 films under his name. He ran a studio called The Factory, codified silkscreen methods to create an assembly line effect, leveraged assistants, reused public domain images, and even outsourced his book via tapes and transcribers. In short, Warhol commercialized his creative genius, protected his highest value work, and built the machine that builds machines. That's exactly what we need to do in business to escape the replacement quadrant. From delegation to replacement. Delegation quadrant, quick wins. Low dollar, energy draining tasks you can offload fast. Replacement quadrant, heavier lifts, valuable, higher dollar responsibilities that still drain you and keep you from production. The who and how of transfer matters here. The goal is to stay in production, high money, high energy. By installing processes, people, and ownership, so important work happens without you. Enter the replacement ladder, a sequenced path to offload entire categories of responsibility at any company size in any industry. You climb rung by rung. It's about ownership, not titles. So what are the 5 rungs? First, admin. Key hire, administrative assistant. Founder feeling, I'm stuck. Ownership to transfer, inbox and calendar. Why this matters? Till someone else owns the gatekeeping, your day is reactive and fragmented. Hiring an executive assistant is the fastest relief valve. Delivery. Key hire, head of delivery, customer success. Founder feeling, stalled. Ownership to transfer, onboarding and support, fulfillment of the core promise. Founder trap, you enjoy the craft and you're good at it. Coding, coaching, cooking, design. Offloading the middle using the 10-80-10 rule. You set the direction, the first 10%. Your team executes the bulk, 80%. You return to polish the finish, the last 10% with your magic touch. Examples: think Ann Geddes, Joanna Gaines, John Williams. Vision and finishing flourish, not every stroke. Third, marketing. Key hire, head of marketing. Founder feeling, friction. Ownership to transfer, campaigns and traffic. Pattern to break, feast-famine cycles. Q1 you market, Q2, Q3 you fulfill. Q4 the pipeline dries up. A marketing owner keeps demand compounding while you deliver. 4. Sales. Key hire, sales rep, leader. Founder feeling, freedom. Ownership to transfer, calls and follow-up. Reality check, You're probably the best closer. You'll be tempted to pull this last. Still, 80% done by someone else is 100% awesome. In my case, when I finally hired Michael, he handled more calls in less time and outsold me. Even if your hire isn't the unicorn, freeing your calendar to do higher leverage work is the win. Leadership. Key hires, functional leaders, marketing, delivery, sales, product, etc. Founder feeling, flow. Your role, strategy and leadership collaboration, not daily firefighting. Outcome, a business that grows without your day-to-day. You become a level 3 trader, money for money, and redeposit time into production and investment. 3 components that matter at every rung. For the key hire, the role, not the title. Call them head, lead, or sales emperor. What matters is accountability for the outcomes. Ownership, until one person truly owns outcomes for a rung, you still own them mentally and operational. This keeps you stuck on that rung. The feeling, your emotion is a diagnostic. Stuck equals admin gap. Stalled equals delivery gap. Friction equals marketing gap. Freedom equals time to offload sales. Flow equals you're operating at leadership altitude. Next, sequence beats brute force. I acquire companies and always start at rung 1, regardless of size. Example, I bought Outlandish Automation, a 12-person software company whose CEO had no assistant. We hired one and then moved to delivery, up the ladder in order. Don't hire to grow your business. Hire to buy back your time. Each rung should increase revenue or stability enough to fund the next hire. Next, simple systems, real gains. Small process fixes compound. The mom-and-pop cafe loses loyalty not on taste, but on inconsistency. Stockouts, delays, missed details, because the owner is also the chef, marketer, accountant, and supply clerk. Transfer ordering to admin, and consistency returns. Sales follow. In SaaS and services, faster replies, proactive check-ins, and on-time delivery lift retention and referrals. Each rung you climb pays for the next. The hardest replacement is what you're great at. You'll want to jump back into your zone of competence work, not your genius. I did it with engineering, gave my team the what, and then started telling them the how. Raul, my head of product, told me to back off. He was right. If you reclaim ownership after you've crowned someone else, you also reclaim the stress and lose the freedom. Quadrants evolve. Sorting my own email was fun at 18. Years later, it cost thousands an opportunity every Sunday when it drained me. I hired Lisa in 2006. She crushed it ever since. Likewise, my client Luke had to stop rescuing his marketing lead. What once gave energy can shift to replacement or delegation as your buyback rate and values change. How to use the replacement ladder with the buyback loop. Audit. Where is your time and energy going? What's green and high dollar versus red and draining? How do you feel right now? Stuck, stalled, friction, freedom, flow? Transfer. Move the responsibilities of your current rung to a clear owner. If you have people but no single owner, you're still on that rung. Fill. Backfill your calendar with production. High dollar energy giving work only you can do. Protect it. Step into the arena. How are you feeling about the business right now? Use that to find your rung. Which rung's responsibilities are still on your shoulders? Admin, delivery, marketing, sales, leadership. What's the immediate move to transfer ownership? Hire, promote, reassign? Start at the lowest missing rung and climb in sequence. 5 buyback rules. After clearing delegation, quick wins, founders often get trapped in replacement, valuable work that still drains them. Replacement ladder is the systematic, in-order path to offload responsibilities aligned with your budget and stage. Hardest things to give up are often what you're good at, but not your highest and best use. Offload to move up. Start with an admin assistant, then delivery, then marketing, then sales, then leadership, always in sequence, guided by how you feel. Each rung demands a key hire, true ownership, and a leadership mindset. Climb the ladder to live in production and stay there. Warhol didn't dilute his art by using a factory. He amplified it. Do the same with your business. Build the machine that builds the machine. Reclaim your calendar and redeposit your best hours where your energy and income compound. Chapter 6. Clone yourself. Picture your inbox like a glass door in Times Square, wide open to the world. Anyone can march in and slap a post-it on your desk. Quick meeting? Prove this invoice? Need your headshot? That's how most founders live, letting their inbox become a public to-do list that hijacks their day and drains their energy. You wouldn't tolerate a literal open-door policy on a Manhattan sidewalk, but you're doing it digitally every morning. The fix isn't heroic willpower. It's an administrative assistant. Think of Richard Branson on the ski trip, relaxed, present, fully off the grid, except he wasn't. His assistant Anna quietly blocked and tackled everything, operating by his rules, syncing with him daily, and filtering every got a second request. That's the essence of this chapter. If you want your time back, hiring an assistant isn't optional. It's the first non-negotiable move of the replacement ladder. Why an assistant sets you free. You're already doing the job. If your time and energy audit shows you answering emails, scheduling, researching, cleaning up data, updating reports, handling travel, purchasing, social posting, and the admin workflows, you're the assistant, and you're very expensive. They execute without baggage. You procrastinate on invoices, tough meeting scheduling, and the messy admin because you're emotionally attached. Your assistant isn't. They just execute. They follow the rules better than you. Founders love exceptions. You set a 10K project minimum, then say yes to 6K just this once. Your assistant won't. They'll politely decline and protect your margins. No more drop balls. With someone guarding your inbox and calendar, projects move while you're offline. You stop being the bottleneck. 2-week vacations stop being operational risks. The free yourself jumpstart. My brother Pierre didn't get the big deal about assistants until he made one crucial shift. Full ownership of email and calendar. If you already have an assistant and it's not clicking, start there. Until they control those 2 lanes, you won't feel the lift. 2 core responsibilities your assistant must own. Calendar management. When you create the guardrails, they run the system. Define work versus home time. Meeting windows, such as Tuesday and Thursday, 1 to 4 p.m. for podcast sales, one-on-ones. Deep work blocks that are strictly protected. You shouldn't be the first person touching your calendar. Your assistant decides where new items go and reschedules without asking for micro approval. Inbox management. Make the rule, I never touch an email my assistant hasn't seen first. Your inbox is not your task manager. It's a fire hose. Your assistant becomes the gate. Use email GPS so you feel in control while letting go. The email GPS system. Set up labels, folders. Keep the exclamation point and numbers so they sort to the top. Exclamation, your name. Only you emails, big deals, one-offs, high-dollar decisions. To respond, items your assistant will handle next. Review, edge cases your assistant asks you to thumb up, thumb down. You clear these in a 15-minute daily sync together. Responded, for visibility on what they've already answered. Waiting on, blocked until others act. Receipts, financials, all finance-related items. And newsletters, reading material auto-sorted for later consumption. So the labels are these. I'll just go through those one more time. Exclamation point, your name. To respond, review, responded, waiting on, receipts, financials, and newsletters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the reason the exclamation point with your name is there is so it shows up at the very top of the list. Route all mail to one inbox. Your assistant triages everything into these labels or archives it. Bonus, give them this reply template for speed and transparency. Bonus, give them this reply template to use for speed and transparency. This is John Doe's assistant, Julia. I got to this email before they did and thought you'd appreciate the speediest reply. And then she replies. What to hand over first? Anything red and low dollar from your audit, email replies, scheduling, travel, purchasing, shipping, invoices, forms, report updates, social scheduling, CRM hygiene, research, gifts, even logistics. Your procrastination list, the tasks you consistently avoid, emotional baggage, go to your assistant by default. High trust assistants are an asset. A friend selling his company for 9 figures was most upset about losing his assistant of 9 years. My advice, negotiate to keep them. As Keith Ferrazzi says, they're not secretaries, they're lifelines. A great assistant lets you do urgent and most important at the same time. Common objectives reframed. I don't have enough for them to do. Your audit says otherwise. I can't afford it. Use your buyback rate. If you're $100 an hour and your assistant is $25 to $40, that's a 2.5 to 4x ROI on the reclaimed time. I'll lose control. The opposite. Email, GPS, and daily syncs give you more control over outcomes with far fewer interruptions. It takes too long to train. Record Bloom-style walkthroughs once and reuse these forever. Your future self thanks you. 5 buyback rules. Every founder needs an assistant, no exceptions. If cash is tight, start with a virtual assistant at or below your buyback rate. Assistants execute without your emotional baggage. Use rules, not willpower, to protect your standards. Your assistant must fully own 2 lanes, inbox and calendar. You should not be first touch on either. Let employees wear multiple hats, especially your assistant. You've been doing it. Now it's their turn. And then use email GPS to hand off your inbox while maintaining confidence that nothing slips. Step into the arena. If you have an assistant, ensure they fully manage your calendar and inbox. Have them implement email GPS this week. Offload additional delegation quadrant tasks immediately. If you don't, make this your next hire. Use your buyback rate to set the budget. Start with a VA if needed, virtual assistant. Onboard them directly into calendar ownership and email GPS from day one. Clone yourself by installing a system and operator pair around your time. Once your assistant runs the gates, your days stop being shaped by other people's post-its and start compounding into your production quadrant. Chapter 7. Building Playbooks. Scale isn't magic, it's choreography. Think of McDonald's speedy service system in The Founder. Ray Kroc orders a burger, and before he can blink, it's in his hand. The brothers had literally drawn the kitchen like a basketball play. Who stands where? 5 dots of mustard, 5 dots of ketchup, 2 pickles, wrap, pass. No wasted motion. The genius wasn't just fast food. It was a process that could be cloned anywhere on Earth. That's what playbooks do for your business. Most companies call them SOPs. I call them playbooks. Same idea, different vibe. A playbook is the exact order of operations for a task, role, or department so anyone can run the play and get a predictable result. And the punchline is this: great operators learn unlimited productivity is more valuable than intermittent quality. You can't scale one-off brilliance. You can scale a repeatable win. What playbooks unlock is this: faster hiring and onboarding. New assistants can reply your way on day one. New salespeople know when to follow up and what to log in the CRM. A marketer starts where your data says ROI is best, such as Facebook is better than Instagram. Fewer explanations. You stop re-explaining how we do X every month. It's documented once. Compounding consistency. Starbucks and Chipotle aren't dominant because every cup is a masterpiece. They're dominant because every cup is the same. Start where it hurts most. Peter the plumber was bleeding cash because he forgot to invoice during busy months. He recorded himself doing billing one Sunday, handed the video to somebody else, and fixed the revenue dam. That one playbook stopped his biggest leak. My financial management playbook runs 8 pages: reporting schedule, collections flow, who reviews hours. Not screenshot level detail, but enough that anyone can run the system without me. The 4 C's of a great playbook. Camcorder method, training videos. Record yourself doing the task exactly how you want it done. Talk out loud, explain decisions as you click. Do 3 times to capture common variations. I used to train hires driving 6 hours with a server in my trunk and a laptop wired to the cigarette lighter. After repeating myself half a dozen trips, I just filmed it once, and that became the training. Same today. I record almost everything I might want to offload. Course, the high-level steps. Bullet the major steps. No need for microscopic detail. Example, open the coffee shop might be clock in, turn on espresso machine, start coffee pot. Write coffee of the day on the chalkboard, wait 10 minutes, turn on open sign. Cadence, how often? Daily, weekly, monthly, every time. Example in finance. Daily, pull cash report. Monthly, review credit card statements for fraud. Pay down line of credit. If greater than 10K, notify the founder. Checklist, non-negotiables. Checklists save lives. Ask pilots and surgeons. They also save your quarter. If a follow-up is missed, but the checklist was followed, the checklist is wrong. Fix it and the problem won't recur. 2 example playbooks. Simple one-task playbook, hiring. Camcorder, Mark Films, How I Hire. Course, post-roll, collect resumes, shortlist 5, department manager interviews, founder final. Cadence, per hiring cycle. Checklist, 20-plus resumes. Notes for why the finalist is great. Candidate excited to join. Result, Mark stopped being the bottleneck and returned to running the company. Department playbook for financial management. Example. Camcorder, videos for each task, daily cash pull, fraud check, line of credit pay down. Course, steps per task. Cadence, daily, monthly schedules. Checklist, reports pulled, accounts included, anomalies escalated. Let your team build the playbooks. You don't need to write them. Use the camcorder method, dump links in a live doc, Google Doc, and have the person who will do the work build the playbook. The benefits? You confirm they truly understand by seeing their doc. They'll surface missing steps you forgot because you just know. I do this for everything from audits to content creation. My assistant uploads recordings, the new owner of the task watches, drafts the playbook, and I do a final pass for accuracy. Bringing playbooks to life. Training, watch the videos, and read the playbook, answer a few questions pulled straight from it. Keep playbooks as living documents. A Google Doc is great. Owners of each playbook should update them when the reality changes. Aim for 80% fidelity. Per the buyback ethos, 80% done by somebody else is 100% awesome. You'll save time and get consistent results. Where to begin? Pick the single task or area causing the most pain or delay and create one playbook this week. Record yourself 3 times doing it, drop the links into the task playbook, assign someone to build it out, and then never do the task again. The 5 buyback rules: scale runs on consistency. Build repeatable excellence, not one-off heroics. Use the camcorder method. Record yourself, talk through it, ideally 3 times, then hand those recordings to the trainee. A playbook documents the order of operations so you can hand off a task or a whole department predictably. Don't write your own playbooks. Have the doer create them from your recordings, then review. Every playbook needs the 4 C's: camcorder method, course, cadence, and a checklist. Step into the arena. A, this week, record yourself doing one dreaded repeatable task, ideally 3 runs, and start the blank task playbook. B, assign someone to watch the videos and draft the playbook. And C, review and finalize. From now on, that task is no longer yours. McDonald's the parts of your business that repeat. Hit copy on your hard-won know-how so that the team can execute like you without you. That's how you clone yourself and turn intermittent wins into an operating system for scale. So that's where we'll stop for today. This has been part 1 of Buy Back Your Time by Dan Martell. Remember that our website is innoguide.net, where we have many resources for innovators, people building products, and those who want to learn AI. I want to thank Steve McIntyre for producing this, and I want to thank you for joining. I look forward to seeing you next time. That's a wrap.